Good afternoon, Aparna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Lindsay? Good to see you.
I'm good, and it's good to see you too. And thank you for joining me. We have talked before with Chronic Wellness Tools, and I wanted to also. You're generous enough to talk with us for Full Circle, and so I'm excited to introduce you to this community and to talk wellness with you today. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your work?
Sure. My whole journey of being involved in Ayurveda began with me becoming a postpartum doula in Ann Arbor, Michigan, because I decided to have natural childbirth with my son, my first child. And I was so moved by my own experience and from the support I received that I decided I needed to be a doula. And at the end of my doula training, I realized, wait a minute, I know all this Ayurvedic stuff about postpartum care. I should just combine the two and I'll have the most unique practice,
Yes.
which is what I did. And then over time, I became a private chef. And then I worked at the Chopra Center as their head chef. And then I did some consulting for them for a year. And then I created various of my own programs and I practice. Most of my work is around Ayurvedic lifestyle. I don't do that much diagnosis, and my recent focus in the last year has been primarily on women and their emotional wellness and how that affects their physical health. And women are what I say, the central force of every family.
Yes.
If mom is not happy, then you can be sure the whole family is not going to be that happy either.
Right.
And moms give so much. They give all of themselves at all times. So I do work with many moms, and my focus is on teaching them how to give to themselves first. So they, on all levels, especially the emotional level, and then of course all the self-care stuff as well.
Absolutely. So just to get us all up to speed on Ayurveda, I first of all, actually, I have to backtrack. I'm amazed at that experience. The Chopra Center is such a beautiful place, and to have had woven all of those experiences between mama and doula and food and family and cooking, it's bringing to mind your description in our prior conversation about how Ayurveda is all of those things.
It
And
is.
so
Yeah.
I wonder if you could just tell us, if you were to sum up in, a sentence or two, what Ayurveda is for people.
Ayurveda is one of the oldest science of longevity. It is the fundamental, simple, organic way of living that will bring each and every one of us to a state of balance and bliss and beauty from within. Because when we are aligned with who we truly are and when we are aligned with the laws of nature,
Yep.
then life is good, or there can be paradise on earth.
Yeah.
But often most of us are misaligned. We're so stressed out and tired and not going to bed on time, not resting enough, overwhelmed, overstimulated. And our nervous systems can only handle so much. After a while, it's chronic fatigue and diseases and unexplained symptoms and so forth will come about. And my vision is to share this beautiful ancient knowledge with as many people as I can in as many ways as I can, so they too can benefit from this 6,000 to 8,000 year old science.
How wonderful. And I love your description as well that it's not just about, I guess what I'm hearing is it's not just about health or wellness or the absence of symptoms, but you're actually helping people aspire to something higher, this sense of vibrancy, or I'm looking for a word about joy, or
Yes.
paradise on earth. This idea that I think we have maybe all settled for, not even striving for that anymore. We just don't want to
Yeah.
be in pain or stressed, and yet we don't quite know how to get out of it.
Exactly. And I think that when we remember our original true nature of happiness and bliss and joy and pleasure, this
Yeah.
pleasure you feel through the five senses and through the body, joy is very much of an inner experience, and we need both. In India we say, well, when you take birth in a body, you are here for the entire gamut of the human experience: pleasure, pain,
Yeah.
prosperity, everything.
Yeah.
childbirth, family, all of it, spiritual practices.
Yes.
And what I find sad is right now so many people are only choosing to experience one aspect of being human, which is generally being very miserable and unhappy.
Right.
And as soon as they can see that, bliss is their birthright, that they are allowed to be happy and to be content and enjoy life, and they begin having the experience of it and the practice of it on a daily basis, that their whole context on how life is changes very quickly.
So how do you help people who are maybe mired in the day to day and that, life has to be suffering, open themselves to joy again?
Yeah, I'll just tell you about my own short story.
Sure.
I became a single mom when my daughter was about 6 months old, and I had a 4.5-year-old son as well. And it's a classic, I don't know who I am, and oh my gosh, my life is in crisis. Just a very insane kind of a feeling of all I can do is work and take care of my kids.
Right.
And many years ago, somebody asked me, if you had 4 hours to yourself, what would you do? And I just blanked out. That idea didn't even, I didn't know how to respond to that. That 4 hours would give me 4 hours. How would I have 4 hours to myself? And I had to go through that low to get to the point where one day I said, I'm not living like a robot. I know what to do for myself. So, and on top of that, I also chose to be an entrepreneur. So I didn't just go to a job and get this paycheck. When you work for yourself, there's a lot of building, visioning, and of course there's the work part too, not just the building and the visioning, but also the actual work of it. So I realized I could build a business that had no foundation of my own bliss, but I'm going to go teach everybody about it, and nobody is going to want to learn from me because people can tell when somebody's fake.
Yes.
Or I could make my own life an example of that which I'm teaching.
Yes.
And so I do it. I do the self-massage every day. I exercise 5 days a week. Every afternoon I rest and I meditate. Everything else can wait. I cook 5-6 days a week. I make fresh meals. I go to the farmer's Sunday and I laugh a lot, and I think life is great. If I didn't do those things, I would feel like I'm just a mechanized being.
Yes.
And when I do that self-massage and when I meditate or even I love taking naps, and I don't even apologize. Yes. I say Americans need to take naps.
Yes.
They're very exhausted, overwhelmed people.
Yes.
All of us,
Yes.
And sleep. How many sacrifices we make each night because, I'll just do these chores and I'll just fold the laundry and I'll reply to those 5 emails and it's 11:30, and by 6 o'clock most people have to start their morning, and we need sleep. Sleep is when the nervous system throws off stresses and our cells are rejuvenated and our mind is rested and refreshed. And often most people don't sleep. Majority of Americans don't sleep enough.
Absolutely.
So
I wanted to ask you how you bring Ayurveda and this great wellness into your home as a mama and with your children. But what I'm hearing you say is you're already answering that. You are modeling it every day. You're starting with yourself.
My case is a little different because I grew up in India. I had the experience of all of these practices.
Yeah.
10 days after I was born, I was massaged every day for a year with warm medicated oils. So my children were massaged the same way. In fact, I still massage my daughter's back and legs and arms, and I kind of insist because I know the value of it.
Sure.
And she's 10. And so the way to bring that into our lifestyle here, our hectic lifestyle here, is just to pick one thing.
Yeah.
Just one, and you just include it into your life. Whether, let's say for the mamas, I would say self-massage would be a really big one.
Yep.
They'll suddenly feel relaxed and soothed and have energy, more energy. But the energy is not like this crazy high vibrating energy, but more of a graceful, calm energy that you can actually handle the stresses that come at you as a mother.
I love it.
And the other thing, there are so many simple practices, In order to keep your digestive system healthy, if you sip on hot water, every day instead of drinking ice cold water. It's like, adding fuel to your digestive fire. It keeps it nice and burning strong versus a dampened, almost depleted digestive fire, which will not be good for our immune system. And then sleeping, resting, and spending some time in with my children. Even to this day, we do this thing called the silent game. And it just means that nobody talks when we're driving. That's the silent game. Nobody wants to talk. And if one person makes a request, and we all try to honor it for each other.
Sure.
So silent game is easy, and silence is when we really get to connect with ourselves. We get to process and kind of daydream, and those are all very important to our well-being, our emotional well-being. And sometimes I will even play some Sanskrit chants, and nobody has to play Sanskrit chants to practice Ayurveda in their home, but that's what I choose to do.
Sure.
But you play music like that, and you just sit and listen to it. And it so happens that these Sanskrit chants have a particular vibrational quality that impacts the energy of the home, the energy of the people there. And so that's something that doesn't require money or time. It's just playing there. I will often leave these chants playing when I go out, so the energy is purified in my home. I've done that for years. So there are so many things. And, eating foods according to season.
Yeah.
You shop at the market, you have no choice but eat seasonally. You don't have to figure out what's in season. You can only get what's in season at the farmer's market. And then know that when it's cold, you don't put cold foods in your body. You treat it the opposite. Yeah. Warm, soupy foods, steamed vegetables, a little sesame oil, and using spices, which is one of my expertise,
Sure.
How to use spices medicinally.
Love it.
And I have some cookbooks so people can check it out if they want.
We'll definitely link to your website and your cookbooks. I also know that you have a course available, so if people aren't able to be near you in Santa Barbara or work with you one-on-one, tell us a little bit about the course and what they can expect there.
The one that I would like to talk about especially for our mamas, is called Beauty Balance Bliss. It's a 40-day Ayurveda immersion for you that you do at home.
Nice.
And it's every 10 days there's audios, and then there's an ebook, and you practice whatever I tell you to practice for those 10 days. I believe the first week is self-massage, meditation, and sleep. The second week is food as medicine, so learning about doshas and spices, and there are some recipes. And the third week is digestion and daily routine, so what we can do every day for our body and mind to stay balanced. And then the fourth week is emotional freedom, which is one of my favorite things to work on with people. To really understand the light and the shadow in each of us, and to honor it, and to not shun the shadow, because in that shadow is this beautiful gift that's waiting to come out, and to explore that from within. And lastly, the purpose and power of menstruation. That's the fifth week.
Yes.
The fifth audio. And so it's something they can just download and work on their own pace. They don't have to do it in 10 days. They can do it in 2 weeks.
Sure.
And the reason why I created this program in this way, so if you do the self-massage for 10 days, you figured out where you can fit it into your schedule. Now, it's like brushing your teeth and flossing. First you brush, then you brush and floss as you grow up. And now you've included the self-massage. It's kind of set into your daily routine. Now you can think about, what food should I cook?
Right.
How do I explore the world of spices, but just in simple ways?
Yes.
And then at the end of the 40 days, you are completely Ayurvedic in your home on so many levels. You understand how sleep affects your body. You figure out when you need to go to bed, when is the best quality sleep you're going to get. And the great thing about having moms do a program like this is it directly impacts the children and even the husbands.
Absolutely.
Our moms love their family, and they wouldn't do something for themselves and not help their children, and their husbands do it too.
What a great place to start with the mom.
Definitely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. It has been such a pleasure to talk with you, and I appreciate it so very much. I do hope we can do it again. We would love to, I don't know, stay in touch in terms of seasonal changes or programs you have coming up,
Absolutely.
and connect you to the audience more. And
I would love to.
well, thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and
Thank
I look
you.
forward to talking soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.